Hello, it's Avni Alptekin here. Today I will be making a brief presentation on how to identify, verify, and choose new suppliers and manufacturers without spending a dime for traveling. Well, first of all, this presentation is for those who are really looking for custom manufactured products. Okay, custom manufactured means custom tailored. Basically, either you or someone made some drawings, technical blueprints for you. They have determined the specifications of the products, and you want this product to be manufactured. Okay, so this presentation doesn't really apply for those who are looking for an off-the-shelf product such as an iPhone that is readily available in a store, but this is more for people who are looking for a factory to make their special products. And also this presentation is really valid if you are looking for a long-term relationship, because it involves some work that you need to do, some homework, and it's worth only if you are really looking for a long-term relationship where you will be buying the products again and again. You can use trade agencies, you can travel, but remember, these are all costly things to do. Trade agents, they take a certain percentage, or they get a fee, or they buy and sell the products to you. If you travel, you have to get a passport, a visa, maybe your tickets, and to spend time to make a reservation, go to the hotel. It's a lot of money that you have to pay. This presentation really will help you to avoid this kind of costs. I don't say it's bad to travel, don't do it. Definitely do it if you can, but you can go around it. You can basically find good suppliers without spending a dime. And even if you want to travel later on, do it, but you can start basically with no money up front. Okay. Here I will basically talk about some techniques and methods that you can do remotely using the internet and telephone, Skype, and digital media. One of the things that you should definitely do is look whether the potential supplier has a quality management certification, okay? Because this means that if they do have it, it means they have record keeping, it means they have procedures they follow in manufacturing. So quality certifications such as ISO 9001, QS 9000, ISO 14969, ask for a copy of them. Make sure they are authentic and real, because there are fake ones around, and definitely check the issuing agency. Some agencies are more strict, whereas others are just issuing certifications without proper audits. They are just taking the money from the applicant, and they are just issuing the certification. So do a little bit of homework on the internet, find out who the agency is and how reputable they are. Similarly, ask your potential suppliers for certifications and marks such as UL, CE, FDA, ROHS, or FCC if the product is an electronic product that needs compatibility, electromagnetic compatibility, not to interfere with other devices. Of course, you need to know a little bit about the product you want to get manufactured, so that you can look for the proper marks on the products. And if the potential manufacturer has issued some products that have these marks, it's a positive thing, because it means they have experience with this kind of products, and they will be better able to help you. Definitely ask your potential suppliers, for a few customer references. Make sure that you call the references and find out who they are. Are they really big established companies, or is it just Mr. Joe on the street? The more reliable the references are, the bigger they are, or if they are government agencies, it's all good things you should be looking for. And also, if they have been doing business with the potential supplier for many years or not, that's also important. If they had bought something 10 years ago, never after, that's very different than having been purchasing something for the last 10 years. But I want to mention that do not insist to take customer references, because not all suppliers will be willing to give you this information. Either they may not want to reveal their customers to someone they don't know, because you may potentially steal their customers, or they may have an NDA, non-disclosure agreement, and have to keep things secret. Look at the potential supplier's internet presence, okay, and type in their name in Google, check how many hits you get. Are they real, or is it just a single website but nothing else? Are they active on social media, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest? How many followers do they have? How many product photos do they have? How much time did they spend on website and social media and other internet tools? Good companies usually have invested a lot on social media and internet, whereas startups or companies that are not as established may have less presence on the internet. There are techniques like checking their website. Better companies have better websites, generally speaking, not always, but generally speaking. Look at the age of their website, when it was registered from whois.com. You can check that. Look at their number of backlinks, page rank, appearance numbers, SEO score. There are sites where you can check a website's SEO score, search engine optimization score, for free, at least for some websites. A few times you can check for free and look at the data. Check at the quality of photos they are posting here and there on their website or elsewhere. Spelling mistakes. Read the blogs that people have written on their products, on their service. Look at the feedback, complaint records. Even the faces of their employees on their website and on social media can tell you something. Usually companies that make good money, they also make their employees happy, not only their customers, but also their employees. If you can't download a brochure or catalog from their websites, ask them to send you a link. Okay, the file may be big, so they may send you a link, or they may email it to you. Look again at the photos. Are they clear, and have they been taken with high resolution? Or do they really reveal their logo and company name on the products? Do you see any logos, company names on their doors, on their buildings? These can all give you good clues about who you are dealing with. Remember, good companies that have good profit, that make good business, they hire good translators. They don't make so many spelling mistakes. They take professional photos. They hire a good cameraman to take photos and videos. Another technique you can use is aerial intelligence using Google Maps. All you need is type in the address of the potential supplier, and Google Maps will basically give you a view from the sky, and you can see the street names, and then you can actually see the actual buildings by just clicking on one of the options. You can see how large the buildings are next to it, and the building itself, where the company is located. Remember, if they are saying that they have like 10,000 workers, and you see a tiny little building there, the roof is very small, it's not going to accommodate 10,000 workers. You should be asking further questions to find out why it's like that. And you can also have us basically drive through the street and look to your left, to your right, basically as if you are driving a car. Check the surrounding, check the building. Do you see their name, logo on the building? One obvious thing is that many people actually don't realize is answers to your questions. Okay, when you ask questions to a supplier, if they just give you vague answers, if they skip some of the questions, or if they just try to rush you into paying some money to them immediately without answering your questions in full detail, these could be all red flags. Be careful, because good suppliers, real suppliers, responsible suppliers first ask you many questions. They want to assure that they really understand your needs, your specifications. They write or speak to you back and forth, confirm everything in detail, and then they sign the agreement, and they basically at that point they may ask you the payment. But if they don't do these, they rush you into paying. Be careful. Don't move on. If a supplier makes big mistakes on their proposal sheets, on their quote sheets, that could be a red flag also. If they don't understand that in the United States people use the inch instead of the metric system, and they claim that they have been selling to US customers for many years, that would raise suspicion. I would be suspicious that they have ever sold to US customers, because anyone will know that in America, inch is the basic unit, and it's not centimeters or millimeters, unless otherwise stated on the drawing. Okay. Definitely get quotes from multiple potential suppliers. Ideal price is usually the one that is slightly below the average. Take the average. When you say you get 10 different prices from 10 different suppliers, take the average, compare them, and the ideal one is generally a little bit below the average. If it's too low, be suspicious, because if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Okay. Now, different suppliers can give you different prices. This is very normal, because it depends on their expertise, on their machines, equipment, on their workers. If there's a good match between the supplier and your product and your needs, you should actually hit with one stone, three birds. You should be getting the best price. When I say best, not the lowest, but slightly below average, the best lead time and quality. Okay. The more you know about your product needs and about the factory that is going to make your products, about their equipment, the better you will be in choosing the right supplier, because many things depend on the equipment. With one equipment, you can produce it for expensive. With another equipment, you can get it done much faster and with lower price. Definitely call the supplier and see who answers the phone. Is it always the same person? Do they have many employees? Is there a receptionist taking the call? And when you speak to her or him in English, is the person transferring you to someone who speaks reasonably well in English? And if this is not the case, if they hang up on you, if they don't speak a word English, this should be interpreted as a red flag, because any serious company dealing with international customers should have hired staff that speaks English. Basically, ask yourself at the end, did they answer your questions properly and professionally, and did they make you feel comfortable? That's the ultimate question you should be asking. If you are buying a significant amount of products of significant value, make sure to negotiate good payment terms. If you are buying something that's worth only $500, it may not be worth really to negotiate too much, because you may not really get any good terms anyway, because the amount is just small. They may ask you for prepayment right up front. But if it's significant, if it's a few $1,000s and more, negotiate good payment terms. Good means some of it should be paid in advance. Most of the time they will ask that. and some after you approve the first articles. First articles are basically the samples that you're going to get and inspect. If you get a 30 to 70 term, that's good. 50-50 is also good. It means 50 upfront and 50 after inspection of first articles. But if tools and molds are being involved, don't expect such terms for the mold and tool fee, okay? Because the manufacturer has to make the tool, and those are really expensive. They are made from steel, and they're heavy, and it takes weeks to make a mold and tool. Most of the time, they will ask you for upfront payment for the tool and mold. If not, they may ask you for 50-50 after approval. If you get that, you are really lucky. But as I said, don't always expect very good terms. There are many other techniques and methods you can use for free. I mentioned just some of them. Use as many as you can, but keep in mind none of these techniques that I mentioned here or will mention elsewhere should be taken alone as the criteria. Instead, you should be looking at the overall picture at the grand scale, and use your common sense and feelings and common sense, and write down what the answers were, and try to interpret. If there's anything missing in the puzzle, call them, try to, or write to them and try to clarify the missing points before you move on. Okay. And please, if you like this presentation, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel and visit our website. Thank you.